Here we go. So, welcome, February 21st, Team Boomerang Team Call, hosting for the beautiful Marie, who's soaking up the sun in Mexico. Everybody say hi. So, watch the recording for sure. So, Marie asked me to come on today and talk a bit about my road to diamond. I was a little surprised by this request. I was like, I don't know, like I'm not exactly sure how I did this, but I sat down and I broke it down, and I'm grateful for this opportunity, and I'm happy, like so excited about the progress that I have made. So, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Sandy, and I've been a coach. I think I signed up in June, active coaching since about August. I am 34 years old. I'm married to my beautiful wife, and I have 3 fur babies here in Lloydminster. So I'm kind of on the Alberta side, and that's why I had to push it back, because I am a registered nurse. I work 12 hours today, and I am tired, if you can't tell, but I'm here, and I'm excited to be here, and I'm excited to share some of my information with you guys. A bit about my journey is I've been overweight my whole entire life. I struggled. I was athletic, but I was always like the big girl on the team. I was always the tallest, the thickest, the meatiest, I guess you could say. And I just sort of took it as something that I was, and I never really thought I could change that. A couple of years ago, I got a really wicked misdiagnosis, thankfully, of a lung disease, and it kind of shifted my focus to doing something more, or changing what I was doing to see if I could maybe lose some of this weight and get healthy. And so I started going to the gym. I was going 3 times a week. I actually had some girls at work that we had our own sort of, I look back at it now as an accountability group on Facebook. It was just the 3 or 4 of us, and we had team leads for the week, and we tried to post and encourage and motivate each other. And I was going, but I was seeing 0 results. I literally went to the gym 5 minutes from my house for a year and never lost a pound. And it was so incredibly frustrating. I then started, I registered for a 5K, 10K run, and I knew I needed to get more motivation. And so I was working out at home, getting on the treadmill. And what started out as 3 times a week ended up 2 times a week, ended up 1 time a week. And then I was just losing all the motivation I had. I had no accountability, nobody to hold me up to a standard. I would just not do it. So then I moved jobs and went to maternity, and that's where I met beautiful Rosalind. And I watched her journey probably for 2 to 3 months before I actually said, like, okay, like, what is this chick doing? She's always positive. She's always happy. She put up 22-minute hardcore, and I was like, you know what? I can do 22 minutes a day. Like, I can do that. I can fit that in, right? And look at the results she had. So I said, okay, like, let me know what you're up to, right? So I signed up for a challenge pack. I thought, dive in for what she's got. I was not a believer in Shakeology. I thought that it was just a quick fix, another jump on the train. So I actually hit it for my coworkers for the first 2 weeks. And then I started to feel the changes. I had my increase in energy. I was feeling better. My digestion changed 100%. And I was like, you know what, why am I hiding this? Something that I planned on canceling was now fueling me, from a cellular level. And as a registered nurse, that was huge. Like, noticing those differences was massive to me. On top of that, I continued with the 22-minute hardcore. That's where I started, and I followed the program through. I lost 14 pounds and 14 inches. I don't know if most of you have me on Facebook. You can see that first transformation is from that 8 weeks of, thanks, Carly, of 22-minute hardcore, and in with the challenge group, of course. So I was in on that. I loved being there. I loved logging. I loved seeing other people logging. And of course, I was cheering other people on and being really engaging. And Rosalind kept saying, like, oh, you could rock this coaching thing. And I was like, yeah, right, whatever. No, I don't think so. And she was like, no, seriously. And so she got me into the discount again. I rolled my eyes at her for that too. I was like, I don't really care about saving $20 a month, whatever. That seems like way too much work. But, I finally did it. And I'm grateful, because then I'm saving some money, of course. And then she just kind of slightly pushed me in that direction, just gently, and said, like, you love to post, like, why not share your journey? And I think it was in one of her challenge groups that said, like, share your journey to social media. And I did that post, and I had huge responses of people that were like, awesome, Sandy, congratulations, that's amazing. And I noticed how many people it inspired and how much fulfillment that brought me. And I thought, you know what, this is always something I've wanted to post or share about. But they were always in private groups. So why not do it a little bit more? Why not try and make some money out of it? Why not inspire people on a daily basis? Like, what's so wrong with that? Other than the fact that our confidence is kind of, down there, and it needed to be up here. And I think one thing that hit me really hard was the Brene Brown on critics. And it's like a presentation she did. And watching that was game changing for me, because I really realized that if people were in our arena, that's the word I was looking for, and they're up here in the cheap seats and they're looking down on us and they're, you know, making fun or jokes or being negative towards you, they're up here in the cheap seats. So I don't really care what they think, right? Where if they're down in that arena with me and they're another coach or another healthcare advocate and they want to talk about nursing or they want to talk about coaching, I'll go ahead and we can chat it out and we can have a discussion about it. I'm more than okay to do that. But if you're just up here looking down on me, I got no time for you. And that's where the motivation came from. And I was like, you know what? I do have a bunch of people that might have comments, and they usually come from a negative place or a jealous place, and that's okay. Those people can be in their bubble and they can do their thing, and I'm just going to continue to do my thing. Because on the other side, I had tens and tens and tens and tens of people that were messaging me saying, oh my God, Sandy, if you can do this, I can do this. Like, holy crow, what are you up to? And I was like, wow, this might actually work. So that brings me to where I am for coaching. Of course, I got into it for the discount. I also got into it to cover my cost of Shakeology. That was one of the things that made me nervous about this journey, was the cost of the monthly. And that has surpassed it and plus some for me, which is awesome. So I no longer have to worry about it. I'm actually drinking my second shake tonight because I think I'm fighting a cold. The first one I've gotten since I started this journey. And so I decided to boost my immunity by having a second shake today. And I'm really hoping it's going to knock it down. I made my list, just like Marie and Rosalind had mentioned, of all the different people who I thought maybe could benefit from this lifestyle, and I started to reach out to them. I used the resources that were given to me by Roz. She's been an amazing mentor and an amazing coach. And of course, those resources came from Marie, which came from the other girls that are part of Team Just Keep Pushing, and them. And of course, we build on them as we go, but it's not about reinventing the wheel. It's about using the resources that we've got. So I used their invites, or I used their information. I got the apps that we needed, such as the BB Links app. I made a notes portion of like quick links so that I had quick access, because at the beginning, I got to admit, with some of the messages that were coming through, it was overwhelming. I felt like I had to write them back right away. I felt like I had to get the information to them, or I would lose them as customers. And I was just like, oh, I can't move this quick enough. And it started to be like, oh, okay, where am I going with this? But slowly but surely, I would get them signed up. Some I made mistakes on, you know, some people I lost in the woodwork long ago by just things that you said that maybe were a bit too salesy. And now I've really been able to kind of get those messages to a loving place of, you know, just like, this is an amazing thing I've got to offer. How are you? How's life? What is your goal? And it really seems to help build that relationship. Now, you know, I used to come off in kind of verbal diarrhea. I know a lot of people have said that and say, oh my God, I'm doing this workout and I'm drinking this amazing shake and this is what's so great about it. And we have these challenge groups and da 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 and da 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 da. And then people just kind of ghost you because they're like, holy man. So if you started off a bit slower, and you just say, you know, like maybe if they say they struggle with workouts, then you focus on the workouts. If they say they struggle with nutrition, you focus on the portion fix. If they say they're tired and they don't have time to eat healthy, then I focus on Shakeology. And I just sort of break it down. And then of course, right now, I would relay them all back to that all access path, because really most of them need all three of those things to be able to live a healthy, sustainable lifestyle. And the other thing I really like to encourage to people is the fact that it is showing your family how to live healthy, because all of these quick fixes that are out there, these pills, these appetite suppressants, all of that stuff is only showing your kids an unhealthy way of living. So if people have children, that's something that I really try to focus on. So I am lucky that I'm a bit older. We've had that discussion a few times, being 34, and I've been nursing for 9 years. And so I've had a few different jobs, which has gotten me a pretty big warm market. So that's really helped me in this coaching business, because I've had people back from 9 years ago that are watching me on social media that I'm able to reach out to and to be able to rebuild that relationship with. And they already know you and they know what you look like then. And now they're seeing what you look like on social media and they're like, holy man, okay, I see a big difference, right? And so that has really helped this journey go along. But as I added them as customers, of course, I added them to a challenge group. I started within, just like Jordana has with me, bringing challengers into Rosalind's challenge group and continuing to motivate them. And I would check in with them and, oh, look who I've got to join me. Yeah, thanks. Okay, get down. Not surprising, my dog. ruining a video. And so like I would add them in. And then once our challenge group got to be a bit too big, we decided to split it off and I started running my own. But again, with the resources that were already laid out for me, I love the Challenge Tracker app because literally you can cut and paste and change, bring out over posts. If you have success partners and you're running two separate challenge groups, you can add each other as coaches. Even if you're not logging, you can use each other's posts and try and help take away some of that work, especially at the beginning. It's a lot of help. So that was one of the things that took a bit of the weight off because I am working as a full-time nurse. I was able to help with those posts, and I've gone ahead and told my amazing coaches that they can go ahead and use those resources as well, because that's what we're about. We're about being a team, this boomerang group. I love it. I love that we don't just like throw each other to the wolves and that we just can help each other throughout it. It's the best part of it, I swear. So of course, while you're doing this, you need to lead by example. I committed to a program. I did a live video yesterday. I think I've done 4 total programs. I started with 22-minute hardcore. Then I did Insanity Max 30, which I never thought that I could ever do. And I managed to get through it, and it was amazing. I'm actually going to repeat it here as my next program, because with that one, you got to write down times, and the whole point is to beat your time. So it's going to be cool to see how far I've come and to beat that time. And then I did around a Core de Force, which I really liked, but the workouts are a little bit long. I, again, didn't think I was going to be able to do anything in that program. I was like a gazelle on ice when I started. It was ridiculous, but ended at the end feeling strong and powerful. It was awesome, just what it does for your confidence. And then right now I'm about halfway through Hammer and Chisel. Again, stepped out of my comfort zone. I'm not a weightlifting type of girl, but this is really building my strength and defining my muscles. So being able to pick and choose those programs along with discussing them with my coach, being Roslyn, I was able to really figure out how to go along it to get amazing results. But just because I've had a physical transformation doesn't mean that I haven't had a mental, because I definitely have. And that's a lot of what people go with, is talking about PD and talking about the mental transformation and the confidence and all that stuff. So I owe a ton of my journey to PD. I've read 3 or 4 books now. I love them all. I love to share about them. I really think it's the key thing that's missing in these other weight loss journeys that people have. They'll go ahead and lose all this weight and be happy, but you can tell that they're not really happy because they're not happy up here, and it all starts up here. So I'm going on a bit of a tangent here, but as my challenge groups got going, I of course did the exact same thing that I was encouraged by Roz, which was to offer them the discount within a week or 2 of them trying Shapeco. Not necessarily pushing them on it, just saying like, if you want to save some money, why not? Here you go. This is the way to do it. And most of them, a lot of them would sign up. So as I got a couple of coaches, I talked to Roslyn a bit about it, and I saw something on there about Emerald, and I said, how do I hit this Emerald? And we chatted. And so that's when I turned around and signed Mandy up as a coach as well. And as I was getting these personal sponsored coaches signed up, I thought, well, I need to get a couple under Mandy because I need to get her to Emerald. And I encouraged Jordana at the same time to do the same thing so that it would build her to Emeralds, because when you get to Emerald, you get team cycle bonuses and you make a little bit more money. And so I took 2 of my challengers that were registered under me, and when they asked about discount Shapeco, or when I offered that to them, I just had them switch coaches real quick. I said, this means nothing. I run my wife's account. You will still be my challenger. You will still be part of my group. But if you don't mind, you know, could you do a quick switch of coaches? And then I would put them under her. I got 2 of them under her. That put her to Emerald. And then I stopped asking people to do that as soon as I got her to an active Emerald. And that's one of the ways that I got that one. I lovely have 2 amazing coaches, only 2 business builders right now, but I'll take them because you guys are great. Jordana is on the call right now. I don't think Tamsin could make it, but that's okay. And Jordana's done the same thing that I did, and she signed her boyfriend up, and I think it's your mom, is it? Yes. And did the same thing to boost her to Emerald, which is awesome. That's how we get this program, like these things going, right? And then I started back looking at my personal coaches. As I was signing them up, I paid attention to what leg they were going on. I didn't really know exactly what that meant or where I was going with it. And I would quickly email or text Roslyn and say like, okay, is it the right leg or should it be the left leg, or where am I going? You have 5 days after signing up a personally sponsored coach to move them from one right leg or the other. The other thing you can do is in your Team Beachbody account, on your back office, you can change your placement. So your red box can be on the right or left leg, depending on where you want it. You need 3 personal sponsored coaches on each leg, as well as an emerald to reach diamond. And so I finally got to that. Within a few months or whatever. I couldn't believe it. It kind of blew my mind that it even happened, because I was just offering these girls a discount. I wanted to save them money. That was really where I was going with it. And then all of a sudden it just started to rank advance. And I was like, holy crow, this is cool. And so once I got there, it was exciting, it was motivating, of course, and I did it mostly with discount coaches. I'm always looking for business builders. I'm grateful for the ones that we have, but the few of us are far and few between, and some girls just are happy with where they're at, and that's okay. And there's nothing wrong with that. But some of us have a life by design that we're looking to build, and we dream big, and that's why we're here sitting on this call right now. So, I continue to maintain my conversation with these girls in challenge groups. I have probably a handful that are in my challenge groups right now that I think would make amazing coaches, but most of them are intimidated by it. So what I do is I throw it out there every once in a while, or I pump their tires is some of the terms that are used, where I'll mention to them, like, I love how you're sharing in our group. Thank you so much. You'd make an amazing coach, or, what you're doing is coach-like. Have you ever thought about making a bit more money? Or have you ever thought about covering the cost of your Shakeology? And then as soon as I get the opportunity to add them to a sneak peek, which I'm extremely grateful for, because I haven't held one myself. Mostly I like them to see Marie's sneak peek, because I really truly believe in this boomerang movement and the way they're training us and the way they're coming through it. And so I like them learning from them. And so I'll say, if you don't mind, why don't you just be a fly on the wall and have a peek? And so far I've had, 5 or plus coaches in there, no really bites on it yet. The more my journey is going, I have had a couple of cold market girls that have said, like, so are you actually making some money at this? And how do you go about it? And I was quite surprised by that. And so I've gone back to those girls to say, let's get you started with a challenge pack. Let's get you started to make sure that you believe in the product, because you have to live this lifestyle to truly make it work. You have to believe in these programs and Shakeology and personal development to make it work. And so those girls I've gone back to, and so far they've just kind of ghosted me, and that's okay, because again, I'll just continue to lead by example, commit to my program, post on social media 3 to 5 times a day, and just have that journey for them to relate to. And maybe when the time is right for them, they'll want to do a bit more with it. We'll see how it goes. I just keep in touch, write their names down, keep track of them, go back to them, monthly or every couple of months, and go from there. And of course, that's the other part of it, is the programs, the Shakeos, the PD, the nutrition, and your customers, whether it's, or your challengers, whether it's new invites. A lot of the times I'll click through and add a bunch of people so they can get at least watching my journey. And then I'll go back through with just like introduction messages. If it's a cold message, it's just like, hey, this is me, this is what I do. If it's a warm message, then I'll ask them a bit more of what they've been up to. And then I'll put their names down and of course, put them up for a follow-up. I love that when people say, follow-up, because it really does come in handy and it really does work. And a lot of these girls will watch you, and if you turn around and like their photos right before you go and message them, then some of your stuff will come up more frequently onto their pages, and they'll be able to see what you're about before you offer them the opportunity. And so I won't always, if people are like, no, I'm good right now, I might put them on a list for 2 months down the road, maybe not 1 month down the road, so you don't come off pushy or salesy. And some of them, I just let them kind of do their thing and follow up when it feels right. Maybe when they've made a post on their social media that sprung out to me and that I've noted, maybe it was on self-love or something like that, where I'm like, oh, that totally relates to what I have to offer. Maybe she's finally ready. I've kind of gone off. I have all these notes written and I don't really know exactly where I'm at, but I think I've covered most of like how I use the resources, the videos, maintain those conversations, the consistency. Let me see what's on the back. One of the things I didn't do at the beginning, unfortunately, was I didn't add as many new friends onto my social media as I wanted to. Now I've really started to track it and wrote those numbers down, because I'm at the very beginning, I felt social media was a super negative place. And I'm so thankful that I didn't do what Marie did and listen to like all those nursing people and delete 100 and some people off of my Facebook. I'm really happy I didn't go there, but I was ready to like deactivate the account when I got started on this journey because I was so sick of it being such a negative place. And I'm so grateful that this opportunity has come in and I've been able to shift what I see on social media as well as what I'm presenting on social media. So instead of me coming on and it being a negative place all the time, I'm able to post positively and I get to watch all of you girls and your journeys and see the positivity that way. And so I don't mind checking into my Facebook or my Instagram as much as I used to. So that's always awesome. Saying all the work and stuff that I did towards getting me to diamond, I'm no longer a diamond. That is part of the game and that is part of this job, and that's okay. I'm sitting at a ruby, which I won't complain, that's for sure. I didn't drop all the way to emerald, and that can happen. And that's mostly because I have personally, or I have discount coaches. And so not everybody has kept on this journey. And as soon as they cancel their Shaco, it puts them inactive and it can drop your rank. But that's not a problem. You know, I'm working hard and I said it was my goal to get back there. And I have 2 girls right now that are planning to sign up as discount coaches right off the bat. They said they were going to do it yesterday or today. So with those 2 girls, even just one, I think will bring me back to diamond. So I feel like I've hit that goal as I wanted to do it. So that totally amps me up and gets me excited, but not very often. I just want to be clear, when I do sign up a challenger, do I sign them up as a discount coach right away? I like to have them in a challenge group first and build the value of the Shakeology and build the value of the programs before you go ahead and offer that discount, because if you don't, you risk them canceling right away and losing that anyways. But these girls, I said, you know, they've talked about finances being a bit of an issue. And I said, you know, well, why don't we sign you up for this discount right away? And it saves us on a step later. If you fall in love with it, like I think you will. And so I think they're going to go ahead and do that. I had to revamp my process to make sure that they knew how to do that from the beginning. Again, just made like a Google Docs or a note and just hang on to that to be able to use it at a later date. Just gave me a notice that we're 10 minutes left. And so do know that sometimes the rank advancements and come back down happens, and that's okay. That's part of this entrepreneurial roller coaster. As I finished my book this morning, and you know, that's sitting right here because it was an amazing book. Some of the things that keep me committed is that I am headed to New Orleans this July for our Beachbody Summit, and I am amped. I watched Rosalind go last year. I watched her trade shift like crazy fast, you know, to be able to go last year, and then how much fun she had and how much she learned. And I'm really excited to join them on this journey this time. And that, of course, keeps me pushing hard. I actually have a goal to be 1-star diamond by Summit. I don't know if that'll happen or not, but I'm sure going to push towards it. And I'm hoping that I'm leading by example and helping my coaches get there as well, because that's what we're doing, is building a team here and building, you know, a lifestyle, and it's quite exciting. I continue to do those follow-ups. I continue to offer that discount no matter what, because I want people to save money in any part. I did want to mention that one of the videos that I saw when I was listening, I think it was a Team Keep Pushing Coaches and Coffee and Coaches Call or whatever. I think that's where I heard it. But Kristen Crow is one of the coaches on that team. And she states that with this All Access Pass, that she now offers the VIP experience. And so instead of calling it a discount coach, she's calling it the VIP experience. And what you get with that is 25% off everything Beachbody and access to my free challenge groups. And so she's tied it in to be a little bit sneaky, I guess you could say. So instead of calling it a discount coach, she calls it a VIP experience to be able to get those discount coaches signed up. So if that's something that interests you, that you may want to try in your messages, you could go ahead and do that. I think people get caught up in the terms and the words that we use. They hear coach and they're like, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. And so I always make sure when I send those messages about a discount coaching that there is no obligation to coaching, because I can turn around and encourage them to do it later. Off the bat, they don't have to commit to any type of coaching. I just hope to build the value in the groups and in Shakeology and the product that they're going to want to share it at a later date, and they're going to want to pay that journey forward, because of course that's where the greatest fulfillment comes from, is being able to pay it forward. I think that's pretty much all I've got to say. I do have one quote that came from that same book. So the book is called The Entrepreneurial Roller Coaster by Darren Hardy. Rosalind bought it for me as a gift, I think when I hit Emerald or Ruby, I can't remember. An amazing book, amazing book. I just finished it. He has so much information about it. I really do recommend it. And one of the quotes I liked is, I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but triumph over it. The brave man is not he who decides not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear. And I just love the way he writes. I love the way his quotes, I have all tons of them written down. I really enjoyed The Compound Effect, which is also written by him. Those are two books that I think are amazing. One of the things I heard in the call the other day is don't feel bad if you've got more than one personal development book going at the same time, that you can have, you know, one going for business and one going for personal and one going for fun if you wanted to. And I do have that. I'm reading The Universe Has Got Your Back, as well as The Entrepreneurial Roller Coaster, which I'm just finishing. And so those two have been my main right now. And I also listen to podcasts all the time. I really love them in the car, and I love them when I'm meal prepping. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to unmute yourself. I am an open book. I'm willing to answer anything. I might have kind of all over the place, but I tried. My brain doesn't function too well after, you know, a 13, 14-hour day, especially at triage, because I got to listen to everybody's problems.
Okay, I have a quick question. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I sure can.
Okay, I'm inside having supper right now. Oh, Kate, quick question. Sandy, how do you do it working 12-hour shifts? When do you check your calendars and run your business on 12-hour days? I'm muting myself again. It's so loud.
Yeah, that's fine. It is loud. Oh, look, there's a note on my page that I meant to say that and didn't. But yeah, so my pockets of time throughout my day, working, nursing full-time. Rosalind, you're not muted and it's loud. There you go. How I work my Beachbody business while working a full-time job is in my pockets, absolutely. So I was never a morning person, hated it. Now I get up before my day shifts when I do work days. I set my alarm for 4 a.m. I'm working, I hit my Energize, my PD, and I'm working out by 4:30. And then usually from 5 to 5:30, I'm on the computer working, sending invites, follow-ups, maybe doing my post. And then I get ready for work. If I have the chance on my coffee break, if there's maybe a message or two has come in, or I have an invite that I'm thinking about, I was talking to Jordana about this today. If you keep sort of a bit of a running list on your phone, and if you do have a bit of time during your day, you could pick one of those names off, send one invite in that 15-minute break and go ahead and do it. The other thing that I haven't set up yet, but I plan on it, are those apps to be able to post ahead of time. The Challenge Tracker app, of course, has that ability. So I sit down pretty much at the beginning of the month and I lay out my challenge group for the whole month, pretty much. And then I go back through and I tweak it as the girls need, you know, different posts or different things. But it's at least set up a week ahead of time, because I can't stress about a post not coming up in that challenge group, because it is my main focus. And so I really want to make sure that they have something to look at when they wake up in the morning and look at their phones, because that's what kept me motivated and what kept me encouraged. Was every morning I knew I'd get up and there would be something on there from Rosalind. Finding out in hindsight that, of course, she just loaded it and it just came up on its own. I had no idea. I was like, what is she doing up at 5 in the morning? But that's what everybody thinks, right? If that's part of the business and part of learning from each other. And so, yeah, and then I will try on my days off, I will set as good of a power hour or a couple hours or 3 hours some days. I'm sure my wife will say that it's even more than that some days, but I try to be as focused. And I've openly admitted that sometimes I tend to scroll a little bit more than I should, or I lose a bit of focus. And I'm really starting to get there now. I get my notebook out. I make sure I'm doing follow-ups and invites. I'm actually planning to read Eat Your Frog, because I know that that talks about doing the things you hate the most, such as the cold market invite, first in your day, and get them out of the way, because you feel accomplished at that point in time. Thanks for the reminder, Roz. Any other questions? Oh, and of course, being able to work in pockets is because I have the resources on my phone. So I've actually upped my data, my data and my storage on my phone a couple of times, because Beachbody gets us up there. But that's write-offs, right? So make sure you're keeping those receipts and hanging on to it. But the BB links is there, my notes, my quick links, my challenge pack links, all of that stuff is on my phone, so that I can just cut and paste it and make it quite a bit easier. Any more questions?
I have a question. Can you hear me? Okay.
I can.
How do you invite for the discount, but you don't want to say, well, you can just, if you don't like the Shakeology, you can cancel it after your first month. Or I've had that a few times where I'm just trying to say it's just for the discount. You don't have to do any work. But then when they start signing up, they read the fine print and then they back out right away.
Okay, so you're saying like right off the bat to sign up for the discount, not like once
Yeah.
they've been for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, right off the bat.
What do you like? I guess I'm not quite sure what the fine print is, that they can't cancel it, or
Well,
that they
it's just
can't.
the hard work of canceling, because and the issues I've had is with family, right? So they want that discount automatically because I'm a coach.
Yeah.
So I explain, I don't want to explain all these things like, yeah, if you don't like it, because I want them to like it. But if they don't like it, I don't want to send this like big long message of, well, I can cancel this for you. You don't have to do this. You don't have to do that, without just saying, I don't know. It's just hard trying to get the discount without explaining all these things.
So in the one that in my little thing that I just made, that's a sign up right off the bat, because I haven't normally done that until recently, because they don't get the discount off of the challenge pack, right? They don't save that 25%. What they'll save is the coach sign up, which they'll save after anyways. It's just an extra step of getting that money back, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so like I'll say to them that I think I put a little thing in the middle that said, if you if you feel that it's not for you, you can go ahead and cancel. I never offer to cancel it for them. Like obviously, like that's their job. But I give them I say, contact me and I will help you with that process. And so that being said, I can also find out why they're not liking it, find out if I know so many people that have tried Shaco and just not mixed it right. And so I'm able to be like, you know what, have you tried this or have you tried that? And try to stop them from canceling it, because of course it is amazing, right? And then from my understanding, they can just give them a call, and they're going to question you a bit being a coach or whatever, but they also need to make sure that they make their coach accountable